What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And this one, I want to talk about what's going on with NIO in the market very quickly. I'll break down some data coming out for tomorrow, what's going on with the news affecting the markets. But before I begin to all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull and deposit $500, you're guaranteed 20 free stocks. If you deposit $25,000 or more, you're guaranteed 75 free stocks, and the offer ends very soon in just about 2 days. Anyways, when it comes to NIO, you guys can see NIO is up 2.3%, pushing to the 50 EMA. And on the 4-hour time frame, it's actually holding up quite nicely. If it breaks this, there's going to be more potential for upside, but we have to see this break for confirmation. And if we lose the 20 EMA, which is currently at around 5.74, we could actually drop a little bit lower to about 5.6. Overall, it's on a slight uptrend. There is potential for it to push higher. But let's first talk about some data and things affecting it for the time being. So, as a reminder, for tomorrow at 8:30 a.m., we have the GDP growth rate quarter over quarter coming out. The GDP numbers and wholesale inventories are very important for understanding how the economy is doing. So watch for some volatility. When we open, this data is going to cause a very, very big move. We will see what this data causes. But with that being said, we'll see what that effect is. And after that, we have a bunch of Fed speakers. We have Bostic, Collins, and Williams from the Fed all giving speeches after that. We'll see what they end up causing. But that's pretty much it for tomorrow in terms of data. On their Twitter page, NIO is basically talking about how there are many people out there who are talking about the ET7, the inspiring journey, about how on earth this is very useful for the world. And they have a very important musician come out that's actually talking about his experience with it. So it's actually very, very cool. Very, very awesome stuff right here. I think it's great that NIO is gaining this exposure. There's also been a lot of talk about the EL6, which is very, very useful in different parts of Sweden, helping them with their expansion and their new roads, which they're going to be exploring. The volume was about 54 million. Average volume was about 51 million. So you can see right here that the volume was about well above average. It's looking pretty good. And we also have the short volume dropping to about 55%. So that's a pretty good sign. And finally, JP Morgan is still, downgrading NIO. We've been seeing this thing dropping as the price price ratio has dropped. Now it's starting to bounce because NIO is gaining a little bit of strength. So there's some life forming. Wednesdays do tend to be green about 56% of the time. And we'll see what else changes on the share price. But that's going to be it for now in terms of data. For NIO, I just want to mention that NIO is trying to push right here. We're going to be watching the 50 EMA. If it breaks this, we're going to be approaching $6. If it fails to do so, it's going to come down. I think it might actually try to break this depending on the GDP numbers, of course. There's a good chance it might try to push. Now, yesterday I said NIO might push higher. We actually got another push and reached our target exactly at the 50 EMA. So let's see if we can try to break this and push for $6. I think there's a very good chance it could. For Tesla, Tesla has two possible structures. One could say that we have either I'm going to pull it up right here. We have either like a double top like structure that's forming, and we also have a possible head and shoulders. So if this is a head and shoulders right here, Tesla could pop and drop. And if we lose basically 197.5, expect a bigger drop. But if we're bullish, you could also interpret this as like a cup and handle. So if we do come down, it's about 197.5 first, and we start bouncing and pushing up again towards this high, then we could get a breakout and turn bullish. So breaking 202.5 and 205 is bullish. Then this thing could push to 212. If we're bearish, you want to see it basically form a head and shoulders here and come back down. So if it rejects off like 200 and comes back down, then it could start sinking. So we'll have to see how it goes. There is some weakness in the chart right here, so there's a good chance that it might actually drop a little lower, but we'll have to just wait and see. We'll see what it does once if it tests 197. Does it kind of bounce off this and push, or does it pop and drop and continue to lose it? We'll just have to wait and see. For a few more, looking at SPY is showing some life, is trying to bounce off the 20 EMA. We're going to see a big reaction to the GDP numbers. We're kind of stuck between 507 and 505. If we're bearish after the GDP numbers come out, we're going to lose 505 and start sticking to 503. If we're bullish, we have to break 507 and start pushing up higher. Right now, it's trying to hold the CMA, so we'll see how it goes. For a couple more, we also happen to have Super Micro looking kind of flat right now. It's showing some weakness, so watch support at 833, and also we're testing resistance at 850. We're dropping a little bit more in the after hours, so watch 833. If we lose that, 800 is coming next. If we break 863, we could be pushing for 880. As of right now, it's showing some weakness, so we'll just have to see how it goes. For Aapl, Apple, in my opinion, is showing some life. We're going to be watching resistance at 183.31. The 4-hour 50 EMA. If we break this, 185 is next. If it rejects off this, we're going to be sinking to 182 and eventually 181.36. Otherwise, Apple is showing some life on the 4-hour, but we need to see a confirmation breakout. We have to see it break the 50 EMA and eventually get up to 185 and hold it in order for this to remain bullish. If it rejects here, it's going to be coming back down towards the lower levels. So we'll just have to watch this test at the 50 EMA, the yellow line right here. So wait and see. For the QQQ, this is very indecisive. It's been going back and forth between supply and demand. Watch 438 as resistance and then 435 as support. We're just stuck going back and forth. The GDP numbers will determine which way we go. If we're bullish, we want to see it break 438. If we're bearish, we want to see it lose 435. And I'll just wait and see. I'm just going to be patient on this one. For Nvda, just want to mention this is showing some weakness. It does look like it might test 779, then try to bounce, so very close to like 780. We'll see how it goes. It's showing some weakness for now, and then we'll just be very patient. For Microsoft, as far as Microsoft goes, this right here is dropping just a little bit, but it managed to hold 405 as its support. If we manage to break above 408, this could start pushing higher. So we'll have to wait and see if that ends up being the case. Uh, Otherwise, this thing is just kind of consolidating right now. We might see some consolidation very close to 407. So we'll see if we get a break or not. There might be an attempt to balance, but we'll just have to see what happens after that. Anyways, with that being said, I just want to thank you all so much for listening. I'm not feeling as great today, guys. That's why I want to make this video kind of short. I also apologize if my voice sounds a little bit off. Sometimes like this, things like this happen when you're trading. So you have off days, and I'm kind of having one for now. But I do promise you, I'll be back tomorrow, as always am. I'll be back in full form, and everything is going to be just fine. So for NIO, let me just mention one last thing. One last thing is that the 50 EMA is the level to watch for tomorrow. If we could break 5.83, watch for a push towards $6. If we get to $6, we have an imbalance to fill up here, and then we have these higher levels like 620. This looks like an inverse head and shoulders, so there's a good chance it's going to try to push higher. Wait and see if you get the break for confirmation. If you're bearish, you want to see it lose 5.7. If that's the case, 5.5 is next. But I do favor the upside a bit more. That is what I'm predicting for NIO. All right, so with the big data coming out for tomorrow, we'll see what happens with the GDP numbers before the market opens. That's going to determine which way we go, so wait and see. But from a technical standpoint, NIO and some stocks are showing some life. All right, so that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for listening. I appreciate every single one of you so much for your time and your attention. Once again, guys, I do apologize if I do sound a little down today. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be stronger than ever before. I promise you that. And things are going to be just fine. So take care. Take care of your health, guys. Stay strong. Keep your heads up. NIO to the moon because the long term is very bright despite the short term fluctuations. And peace out.